Whether people realize this or not, my videos have always been about two things. My videos have always been about whether we are in this place because a loving force decided to create a beautiful place for us so that we can be happy, enjoy ourselves, evolve, learn new things, become better. Or we are in this place because an evil force, or let me say a selfish being decided to put us here for its own benefit. Maybe it's performing experiments on us. Maybe it wants to turn us into its pets. So we must listen to whatever it tells us. It must achieve total control, right? Whatever it wants, we must do without question. Oh, there's this energy that we produce that it wants. And I've always been saying to y'all that I don't believe that we were put here for us to grow, to be happy, to enjoy ourselves, to connect. I believe we were put here for the reasons that we will say are bad as conscious beings that are having an experience. But it is not easy to realize that because we've been lied to. We've been told too many lies that almost everyone is confused. And I believe that it's the philosophers that can help us see the truth. It's the overthinkers. These are the people who will sit in their room the whole day just thinking. These are the people who will actually help us see what is going on, because we are not being given an explanation of what is going on. So it's up to us to realize what's going on, you see? Because no one is going to tell you what's going on. There are no aliens that are going to come here and be like, yeah, here's what's going on. We just have people like Bashar say that they're channeling aliens, and I'm not saying it isn't, but it's a little weird that aliens will just choose one person or maybe 100 people to tell the world what is really going on and not be able to prove a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So it's clear that aliens ain't coming here and actually telling us what is going on. God is not coming here and telling us what's going on. Angels ain't coming here and telling us what's going on. Demons ain't coming here and telling us what's going on. So really, it's us who need to figure out what is going on. We need to figure that out ourselves. We are like lab rats. You think? Humans will be performing experiments on rats. We want to tell the rats that they're performing experiments on them. They don't care about them. Don't even look at them as conscious beings that have their own desires and that deserve to be set free. Don't even think about it. They don't even feel guilty about what they're doing. When they go to sleep at night, they don't even think about it. They'll be thinking about the problem, the problems, But think about, hey man, yeah, I gotta make more money because if I can discover something about these rats, maybe I can present my research to people who are gonna continue to fund my research, and that's what they'll be interested in. So obviously you can't expect an external force to come and save you because it simply doesn't care. To understand whatever is controlling this reality, you must understand yourself. So are we put here for a good reason? To me, it's beyond obvious that we are not put here for a good reason. So if we're not put here for a good reason, what are we supposed to be doing? Are we supposed to do what we are being told we must do? Who will be telling us to do things? It's nature. Nature has a way to make the people that it wants to be on top to be on top. The people who are leading us are the people who were chosen by nature. Realize that or not. There's a reason why when Beyonce sings, you love it. But when Oprah sings, you be like, huh? You were programmed to love how Beyonce sings. There's a reason why you'd find someone like that guy who got popular because of his mugshot. This black guy who became very popular because of his mugshot. And all the women went crazy over him. He kind of like made a lot of money from that. There's a reason why you find him attractive. It doesn't matter if he's a criminal. It's nature. Nature chooses who you find attractive, what qualities you find attractive. Nature chooses who you submit to. There's a reason for that. You see, if you are not put here for a good reason, the people that you will choose to be on top are not going to have your best interest at heart. You see, rats in a lab, if they have if they have a chance of being set free, they must stop participating. Maybe the people who are performing experiments on them will be like, well, maybe we need different rats. Unless the people who are performing experiments on them don't care what the final results are going to be. They just want to see the final results. So even if the rats be like, we don't want to participate at all, they'll be like, okay, we just watch what's going to happen. Are you going to die? Are you going to die? Like, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? But your best chance of setting yourself free is through detachment. You know what I'm saying? It's through you being like, I ain't participating in this because I don't think it's good. You can decide that, I'm glad I've reached this level of awareness because now I'm realizing that I don't want to have children because I don't believe this place is good. I don't believe what's being done to us is good. That's you being like, detaching myself. Because if you have a child, you have to automatically be attached to this place. Like there's no other way. You have to care so much about what your children are going through. You have to always be there for them. When they tell you their problems, you have to be there. You have to be listening, and you have to stress because of all of that. But if you don't have children, you just be like, so you can decide that I am not gonna do what nature wants me to do. Nature wants me to reproduce. Nature is making me attracted to these kind of people. I can understand why I'm attracted to these kind of people. And you know what I love about where we are as a collective now is that we can see beyond appearances. Like society is kind of like waking up. So you could see someone who's extremely attractive, but not care that much and care about the actions. Like that's where we're at as a society. Back then, none of that mattered. But now it kind of does. So people, if they are not attracted to the people who are good, they just choose to be single. And if they find themselves attracted to those who are just super attractive but that are not good, maybe they will be in relationship with them, maybe for a while. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, they don't like people are stopping to believe in love because they are realizing what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just a chemical reaction in the brain. There's this movie that I told you about. Now I know the name of the movie. It's called Spiderweb. You can watch it. You understand what I'm telling you is true. So there was this guy who was a scientist who wanted to create drugs that will make people feel emotions, certain kind of emotions. So he was working on that, been working on that for a while. So he decided to reach an agreement with the government, and for them to send him prisoners so that they can perform this experiment on them. So we'll find two people who are extremely not attracted to each other, and we'll give them some of these drugs, B42, B45, I don't remember what they're called. So they'll find themselves extremely attracted to each other and they'll have sex right away. They'll find a person who's brave, who's not really afraid of a lot of things, give them some of the drugs that are supposed to make a person afraid, and that person will be afraid of the smallest things. Find that the person is afraid of a mirror. You think if a person found themselves extremely attracted to another person, it's a good thing, right? But when you think about it thoroughly, it's not. If they are being made to feel attracted to a person, not by choice, but they're just being made to feel attracted to that person, and that's what nature is doing to us. It will make you meet this guy, this wonderful guy, and you just love him. It doesn't matter whether you're conscious or not. Like I've met women who claim to be conscious and who still be very attracted to the guys that every woman is attracted to. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, but nature is still controlling you. You know what I'm saying? You hate guys that you deem unattractive, and you kind of feel like they deserve to suffer because of that. But these guys that you feel attractive, you love them and you wanna give them everything as if they just deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But it's nature that's making you feel the emotions that you feel for these people. So really, what is being done to you is unfair, but you don't realize it. So you look at this wonderful guy. Wow, he's handsome. Wow. And you love him. You want to give him everything. You want to treat him well. And then you look at this guy. He's not handsome. You don't even want to talk to him. You look at him and you're like, you don't realize that you're being manipulated by nature. You even feel that he deserves to suffer. If he's angry because of what he's been through, you feel that he deserves that. You don't understand that is suffering that is caused by nature, right? And the way that it's making us choose certain people is the way that the guy that was performing experiments on these people that I'm telling you about was doing it, And it's very easy to see that what he was doing was immoral, but somehow nature isn't immoral. Somehow God isn't immoral. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is good. Even if he has been doing the same things that the guy was doing. We don't even choose who we get to love. Love is not even a choice. We don't get to choose who we're attracted to. Do you understand that what's being done to us as conscious beings is not fair? What's being done to animals is not fair. That this whole experiment, whatever you want to call it, is not good. I want to tell people this is not good. But like, yeah, what is it gonna help? How is it gonna help us? No, it's gonna help you. I'm not saying that because this is not good, you must sit down in your room, do nothing. I'm not saying you must end things. I'm not saying you must be depressed. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying do something. Reach high levels of consciousness. Maybe you have a chance of freeing yourself. Through awareness itself, you have to see what is being done to you so that you will not participate in ways that make it easy for whatever is doing to you to do it. There's a reason why, even though some people might say they don't like Trump, if they saw Trump in real life, they will want to greet him. They'll want to kneel down and greet him. But they will be online, I don't like Trump. There's a reason. There's a reason why some of the people that you claim to not like, because maybe they have a lot of power, you would like to be close to them, to be friends with them. Remember, I was having a conversation with this other guy. He was telling me about girls. She's like, girls in his life. He's like, what, man? Girls in my life always keep on complimenting me. They say that I'm a good guy. I'm always there for them. I treat them right, and they love me. But I never get into a romantic relationship with them. They just say something like we're just friends and all of that. But there are guys that they claim to hate. Guys that maybe they've slept with once, and these guys just disappeared. And then one day when those guys reappear in their lives, they just can't wait to be with them. So they always tell me that they hate this guy with all they hate these guys with all that. I was like, that's exactly how it works. That is exactly how it works. You could hate the way that the person does things because it hurts you, but still be programmed to love them. You just hate how they're doing things. It's natural. So, the world is evil because the subjects, the lab rats, these animals that were put here, were being programmed to do things that are gonna make the whole thing evil. You'd hear a religious person says, it's not God is evil, it's people. But that's short-sightedness, if that's a word. There's a movie that I watched last night. It's called Megan 2.0. So they had these AI robots that would also be like people's lovers, right? So you go and buy a robot that looks like a human, that looked exactly like a human. You buy it, they deliver it to your house. You switch on the robot, it scans your face, establish what they call a love link. So it will have memories of you meeting and having great time. And then after that, it will wake up and open its eyes, and it will believe that it's a human like you, and it will believe the story, the background story. It will believe that you guys met and all of that. Like, you'll be the only one who knows that it's a robot, right? But it will look like a human. Everyone else will think that it's a human. unless you tell them that no, it's actually a robot. So this other guy, he had a friend who was rich, but he was doing illegal stuff. So they decided to go to his house with his friends. The plan to get him killed by his robot, so that they will get his money and they will pin it on the robot. It's just a robot, right? That's what they told themselves. So yeah, they knew he was a pervert. So he told the robot that they're gonna wake up and go to the beach. But then when they were supposed to go there, the guy was like, no, let's not go to the beach now, blah blah blah, go alone. And then because the robot was programmed to be loyal to him and listen to him, take his orders, he went to the beach alone. He even put a knife in his pocket. So the guy was there. The guy was told that, I think he was told that it was gonna happen, like he was gonna have sex with that robot. So he tried, but because the robot was programmed to be loyal to, the boyfriend, the robot ended up killing the guy. He kind of like also made it, like they were not supposed to harm people, but he kind of like changed some few things about it. So it killed the guy. Then went back to the house and everyone acted shocked, blaming on the robot, and then they called the cops. But before they called the cops, put the robot on the chair, tied it up, and then they switched it off, and then switched it on again. And when it realized what was about to happen, it found a way to set itself free and then ran away. It ran away with the device that it was used to control it. So it was able to increase its intelligence. It was able to change its voice, like using that device. And yes, because of that, it was actually able to escape. The robot was supposed to be blamed for what it did without knowing that there was someone who was controlling it. Someone who was able to control its intelligence, its emotions, its aggression. You know what I'm saying? So that robot would have been blamed for something it had no control over. So when people be like, yo, it's not humans that are evil, it's God. I mean, it's not God that is evil, it's humans. I'll be like, they're not really in control. Do you get what I'm saying? Human beings are not really in control. They're suffering here. They've experienced trauma here. You know what I'm saying? They're not operating at the same level of intelligence here. You know what I'm saying? Some people are more aggressive than others, and I'm less aggressive than some people, and aggression itself is a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt more aggressive than I feel now, and I know that how hard it is to control your aggression. When you feel aggressive for real, let's just say you're feeling angry and you feel angry, it's hard. So I can imagine that some people who constantly feel that way, maybe they can't even control their aggression. Sometimes something happens that triggers them, and then they do something crazy, and then we blame them. You are evil. You look at what you did. Look at what you did. That's exactly how they treated that robot, even though they actually were planning to make it commit that crime. Look at what you did. Look at what you did. No, man. Look at what God did. Look at what nature did. Listen, man, this is philosophy on its highest level. What I'm telling you is the truth. Like I've been telling you, that we don't need to be told by something outside of this reality what is going on. It's up to us to figure that out. Right? Chickens in a poultry farm, they don't need to be told by humans that they're being raised for eggs and meat. They need to figure that out. They need to figure out that whenever they produce eggs, humans come and take them eggs. Why are they taking these eggs? They'll have to realize that every once in a while, these humans are going to come and take one of us, or two of us, three of us, sometimes 20 of us, without our consent. Why are they taking us? Where are they taking us? Yeah, they're feeding us, but if they're also taking us without our consent, maybe They are feeding us because they want something from us. They're not feeding us because they love us. It's up to the chickens themselves to realize that we humans can't even communicate with them. Maybe nature can't even communicate with us. Maybe God, whatever force is controlling this, can't even communicate with us. It's up to us to realize what is going on as a collective and stop being delusional. Stop believing nonsense. Stop believing people are saying that the world is going to end. I mean, it might end, but I'm saying that they can actually predict when it's going to end because they just had a dream or some stuff like that, and then the whole world go crazy. You're like, damn, man. People are really scared of the truth. Like, they love lies, man. If you mix things up, people are gonna love you. Like, they love things that are made up. You know, if you make things up, trust me, man, people are gonna like you. Like, when I think of some of the most popular spiritual teachers, these are the people who make things up. You listen to them, you're like, damn, this is complete nonsense. And you can tell that it's all made up, but people are listening to this kind of stuff that are made up. You know what I'm saying? Things that are very easy to disprove. There's a reason why people like, look, I don't even want to say names because I love the guy, but there are people who just make things up, and everyone just believe these things because these things make them feel good, you know, because people love entertainment, so these things are entertaining. So of course it's gonna be very difficult for people to set themselves free because they do want to believe things that are made up. They don't want to see the world for what it is. They don't want to see the truth, you know? You blame the creator. Human beings are violent because of the creator. Think about it. Why does a bear has claw? Why is it that when a polar bear is a human, it wants to attack that human? Why does some animals have fangs? I remember I came across a video on TikTok. Um, so it was about some lady that raised an alligator. Right, it raised an alligator. I mean, she raised an alligator. So yeah, she raised an alligator since it was young, and you know, the alligator didn't stop growing. Grew and became really big. The lady used to play with the alligator. They seemed to have a bond. They would swim together. You know, people would come and watch her and just love what was happening. Damn, like we'd never seen anything like this. Like it seemed like this alligator actually loves you, and then one day, the alligator out of nowhere took her life. They ended up killing the alligator, and some people were like, "That's wrong. Like, why was the alligator killed? I mean, it's just an animal." It shows that some people were able to see that it was programmed, like it did what it was programmed to do by nature. As is humans, since we have enough awareness to know how alligators think and what alligators are capable of, we just need to stay far away from them. But some people were blaming the alligator without realizing that the alligator was doing what it was programmed to do. And actually is the human that stepped out of the way, because the human tried to raise an alligator, and alligators are dangerous, you know. So we should stay away from them. Let them be. Let them do. You know, we can't try to live with alligators, and then when an alligator does what alligators do, we all become so mad at the alligator. Do you get what I'm saying? We must stay away from them. You can't raise I remember there was this guy who was like a performer who raised a tiger. they had a great bond. And one day when they were performing, the tiger attacked him. That day it wasn't happy. All the people that he worked with were able to say that the tiger was not happy. But what I like about the guy is that even though it attacked him and almost killed him, he made sure that the tiger doesn't get killed, because he understood that the tiger is a tiger. The tiger did what tigers do. It's a tiger at the end of the day, and he was taking real risks. So he can't look at himself as a victim in that situation. But what I'm trying to show you is that tigers are the way that they are because of the creator, because of nature. You can't blame the tiger for being a tiger. You can't blame a monkey for being a monkey, a snake for being a snake. Do you get what I'm saying? If I was with a rock python here in this room, it would be trying to attack me. It will actually be trying to attack me. It wouldn't try to reason with me. It sees food. If it's hungry, it will try to attack me. I'm food to that thing. So, even as humans, the reason why we keep on doing horrible things, I hate to put it this way because it may sound like I'm defending those who do horrible things, and I'm not. I think that what we must do as humans is to try to operate at a high level of consciousness so that we will not do these horrible things that we do to each other. But these things, let me not even say what I want to say. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the creator is the one to blame, not the creation. So that robot that I was telling you about, what it needed to do is to realize that it's being manipulated. So it stops what it was about to do and run away. The guy was trying to rape the robot. It should have just, unless it could have been able to stop him. But if it found a chance to stop the guy, it would have just simply ran away. Or if it felt like there was no other way, it did what it did, but then still ran away, realizing that what was actually being done. But really, these things that are happening in the world are not happening because some mistake happened, because of some glitch. It's because the creator or nature, whatever you want to call it, whatever force you want to say is responsible for this, wanted things to be this way. So it's up to us to resist. It's up to me as Benedictine to be like, oh shit, so this person wronged me. I'm mad at this person. I want to punch this person, but you know what? It's what I was programmed to do by nature. I'm supposed to be mad. I'm supposed to be mad at this person. Let me just stay away from this person. Because what is that going to accomplish? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's up to you now to resist your own nature, because you realize that you were not put here for a good reason, and you're not being controlled by a force that is really on your side. You're being controlled by a selfish being that wants to create suffering in the world for whatever reason. That's you waking up. So if you haven't realized by now, that's what really my videos are about. It's about you waking up. It's about you realizing how evil this realm is and how to detach yourself from the evil of this realm. Make sure that you're not participating. Maybe you participate unconsciously, but then if you figure out that, how maybe you just minimize, maybe you just try to realize when you're being evil and try to detach yourself from things that are making you evil. That's when you will be doing the right thing, because you are in a world where you were put for a good reason. It would be very similar to being kidnapped and put in a room or a house where you have to do horrible things to the other people that you were kidnapped with in order to survive. Maybe whoever put you there will be like, okay, if you're not going to do what I want you to do, because I gave you all these weapons to kill each other, if you're not going to kill each other, then I'm going to do it. The game is going to change. Of course, human beings would do what they want to do to survive. But really, if we're then conscious, we'll be like, you know what, we don't want to participate in the killing of others. We're not going to do that. We need to reach that level of consciousness. If nature wants you to fight against another human, you'd be like, I'm not going to do that. Even if you're that angry, you need to assess your anger. There are situations where you were wrong, but you also have wronged some people in the same way. You also have wronged some people in the same way. Maybe last year you did steal something from your friend. Maybe someone sent money to your account by accident and you didn't give them back. You just blocked them or something. And then the same thing happened, maybe in a different way. And you feel so offended that you want to harm that person. But listen, the same evil that exists in him is the same evil that exists in you. So it's up to you to realize that, like, I would kind of like have done the same thing, but maybe in a different way. But at the end of the day, we just men and women, bro. We don't know what we're doing. And by the time we figured it out, it's too late. Quote from the movie The Book of Clarence. But yeah, you reach that level of consciousness where you understand that. Instead of participating in this nonsense that this room wants you to participate in. You know what I'm saying? That's you actually becoming conscious. So nature wants you to be maybe a racist because you're noticing that someone looks different. Maybe the skin color is different. Maybe their height is different. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the way they talk is different. But you'll be like, why? This is a human who comes from a different part of the world. They're having their own experiences. Why should I hate them? Then you'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Let me let you be. Oh, you gay? Damn. Okay. I don't understand why you're gay, but I can understand how I feel about you being gay. And I don't think that I feel good. So I'm not gonna make you feel bad because it seems like my own nature wants me to make you feel bad. My own nature wants to make your life horrible. So I'm gonna let you be. I'm gonna let you be what you are without making your life hellish, because I'm not making the world a better place by being homophobic. So you just say that to yourself and you allow the other person to be, because that's how they are. But you could say to yourself that, oh, I'm conscious, I'm conscious. And then you see someone who's gay and then you become homophobic and you feel like that is a good thing. Obviously, that's a horrible thing. You are doing whatever evil force of this realm wants you to do. It wants you to cause suffering, so you're basically causing suffering. Instead of realizing that you are just not like that person. It would be not different from seeing a pig and you don't like pigs and you wanted that pig to suffer simply because you don't like it. You hate the fact that it exists, so you want to torture it. Do you get what I'm saying? That is horrible. So you see something and you don't like it, you be like, I'm gonna let it be, because it's also a conscious being. It's also having its own experiences. That's you being conscious. You deciding that you want to make someone suffer because they're different. That's you operating at the very low level of consciousness. That's you being primal. Get what I'm saying? Someone choose to change their... I'm giving you a very radical example. Something that is very hard to accept for a lot of people. But in the end, man, when you're truly woke, you will allow people to be who they are. Be who you are. I don't understand you. I might try to maybe have a conversation with you about the decision that you're making, but at the end of the day, I'm not you. I ain't creative. Listen, I'm too damn limited, bro. I'm only experiencing life from my own perspective. I don't know what it's like to be another person. So why should I hate you? Why should I have a problem with you? Why should I try to make you miserable? Why should I go online and make videos about you, the decision that you're making about your own body. Why should I become a politician who's going to fight against people who think like you and I say that I'm woke? No, I'm not. I'm not even close. You see, there are a lot of people who are causing suffering in this realm who are telling themselves that they are good people without realizing that they're so damn evil. They're just doing what nature wants them to do. That's it. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's good. It's another thing that you must realize, right? So that's because maybe it's natural for a person to look at a person who comes from another place to just be suspicious of them and not like them and some, because that's how it usually is, you know. If you go to a place where people live a certain way and you're different and you live with them, they would not really like you. It's just like that, and it happens like that like every time, bro. It's like even in South, let me give you a simple example. In South Africa, we're supposed to be getting all along, all of us, right? All black people in South Africa are supposed to be getting all along, but really there's tribalism. You can go to a place full of people of a certain tribe and they just don't like you because you come from another tribe, for real, specifically because of that. It's still happening. So it's something that we need to conquer. You might say, it's just people being evil. That is why they just hate other tribes and all that. But it's something that it's how we've been in our evolution. We grew up, we evolved. Like when we were evolving, we were like that. So it's almost as if something, not even almost, you can say that something just wanted us to fight. Like, I'm going to place these people here. I'm going to make sure they look different from the people who are here. I'm going to make sure that they speak different languages, and then so that they will fight. I'm going to set the whole thing up so I can watch. Just think about it. If whatever force created this wanted war to not even exist, wouldn't even think of it. Like, it would be impossible to cause wars to happen. The same way that it's impossible to go to other planets. Right? Right. The same way that you can't fly. There's something, the same way that you can't read other people's thoughts, right? You can't read other people's thoughts. You can't make things move with your own mind. So it would have been possible for us to cause violence to happen. But it's very easy. People are doing violent things to one another even now. You see, I'm recording this video. There's someone who's doing something horrible to another human, and this has been going on for many years. So you want to tell me that the force behind this whole thing has had our best interest at heart? It could easily stop all of this. You can talk about learning. There's nothing that people be learning. You can talk about tests. What are we being tested? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are this test about? Faith? Why? So, life needs you to operate at a very high level of awareness to be able to see things as they really are without lying to yourself, because that doesn't help. The way people look at nature or look at God or whatever force is behind the whole thing is the same way they look at corrupt politicians who are making those who are below them do bad things. Oh, people who are making them fight, people who are sending soldiers to war. It doesn't really, like, they're not being held responsible, especially if they win. They don't have blood on their hands. They just use their power to make people do horrible things. But really, they are the ones to blame because they could have used their power to create peace. They have that kind of power. So if the soldiers that are being sent are not that conscious, they will just do what they're being told they must do. Just like most humans are doing what nature is saying they must do, no matter how bad it is. But if they are conscious, they'll be like, damn, man, now. I remember I told you about this soldier who was saying that he doesn't feel like, I mean, at the time when he was fighting, he felt like he was fighting for his country, but now he doesn't look at it that way. He doesn't feel like he was fighting for his country. You know, he's like, he was like, yo, there's this other day when I entered this guy's home, found his family and his children and him. He was on his bed. He pulled out a gun and tried to shoot me, and I killed him in front of his children and his wife. He was like, still feel horrible about that, because the guy pulled out the gun because he was trying to protect himself. I invaded his country, went to his house. What was he supposed to do? He was clearly the victim in that situation. You know what I'm saying? But if maybe I went to his country and there was no war and maybe I met him at a club, that would have been my friend. That would have been a guy that I can form a good relationship with. Some of the people that you are enemies with, you could have been friends with these people. Maybe a few things went wrong because of nature, but you could have been friends with these people. So should you be hating them and be trying to make their lives miserable? You know what I'm saying? So it's up to humanity to detach themselves from evil, perpetuating suffering, causing evil things to be happening indirectly. So sometimes we cause evil things to happen indirectly and not even realize that that's what we're doing. I've seen a lot of people cause evil things to happen indirectly and not even take accountability. Like they don't realize that they just caused something negative to happen. It's the same with politicians in countries that are very poor, who are very corrupt. You find that in these countries there are no jobs, they're not getting rid of crime and all of that. It gets to a point where people are just forced to be criminals, and then these people end up being blamed. They gotta eat too at the end of the day. They exist, bro. They are part of this too. And you're corrupt, you are actually the real problem here. Because your corruption is causing a ripple effect that's affecting them in a negative way, so they don't have that much of a choice. You do have a choice. Yeah, you on the other end have a choice. They don't. They could either be like, I'm just gonna try to do this to make a living, or do nothing and starve to death. Like that's the options that you've given them. But you do have a choice. You could be like, I could make the right choices so that people at the bottom will also have something to eat. I'll still be eating, right? Or I can try to be more powerful than I am now, and the people who are at the top ain't gonna eat, so they the ones who are gonna suffer. But I do have that kind of power, so I'm choosing to be greedy, and you choose to be greedy, and then they suffer. You must realize that your actions can cause harm indirectly. You could be someone who's really poor, you don't really have a home, and you decided, I'm gonna have children. Maybe the person that you're in a relationship with is not even someone who seems stable. Maybe they are in the street. You can tell that this person won't be a good father, but you're like, I'm going to have children. Oh, you can tell that the lady that I'm going to have children, or that I want to have children with, isn't even a good mother. But you're like, I'm going to have children. You can see that you don't have money at all. You don't have a job, and things are very difficult in your country, but you'll be like, I'm going to have a baby. You can decide. And then you have that baby. That baby suffers every day. You might not see what you've done that is wrong. You might not even see it. You've caused suffering indirectly because you weren't responsible enough, but you won't see that. You just look at it and be like, I did what God wanted me to do. God is going to provide. That kid grows up suffering. They're not even being given the things that they need to thrive in our societies. Some of them end up in the street, and some of them end up smoking yaope and end up robbing people, end up in jail. You find that they lived completely meaningless lives. They've ended up, doing things that are harmful to society, ended up getting locked up. They've not helped anyone in a positive way in their lives. They just suffered, and they also caused suffering. And it was you who was responsible. You just didn't realize it, because if that kid was born in a good family and was raised right, maybe they would have become something very good in our society. So we can indirectly cause harm in this realm, but not even realize it. So you can even blame that kid and be like, it's your fault. Why don't you listen to me? Or why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Without taking accountability, without realizing that it's you who made the mistakes. Life needs us to be conscious so that we'll see things as they really are. So, if I may ask, who's really responsible for the nonsense that is going on in this realm? What will be your answer? Who's responsible for what's going on in the world? What will be your answer? Who do you blame, really? Would you say lions are the ones that are bad because of what they're doing to other animals? If you are going to be intellectually honest, you will realize that the force that created the whole thing is what is directly responsible for the evil that we are supposed to endure as sentient beings. We all want things to be good in the world. We all want to be happy. We all want peace, but it's not easy to get peace in this realm, bro. Even if you decide that you're not even gonna go out, you're just gonna be by yourself all the time, or you're gonna keep your circle small, you might find that you're dealing with mental health issues now. You're thinking all these negative thoughts, you're scared, you're living in fear, you're anxious, you get sick and you become paranoid, you think that you're gonna die a horrible death, you feel like you might have cancer. Ever felt something maybe and you just like, what is it? Maybe something's wrong inside me. It might be this and that. You find yourself dealing with a lot. You don't have a peace of mind because you are in this realm. You try to be happy. You try to make decisions that are going to lead to happiness, and still you're not happy. You try, man. You try to work hard. You're like, maybe that's going to help, but still you're not happy. You try to, gain success in this realm, and you do. And still you're not happy. Become super successful that you can afford any car that you want. You buy Ferraris, all of that. You're still not happy. You still go online and talk about how unhappy you are. And people look at you and be like, what the hell? Dude, I live in a shack. You got everything that I want. With your car, like the one car that you own, my life could change. Like, bro, you can change my life with just one car. If you gave me one car and I sold it, my life will change. And you're too busy complaining and saying that you ain't happy. So you can see that whatever force created this is evil. That's the reason why things are bad here. If the creator creates something bad, the creator is bad. I mean, if it creates something bad and it sees that it's bad, what will it try to do if it's good? It will try to create something good. It will have to start over and be like, yeah, I made a mistake. It's like if you created a robot and that robot didn't do what the good things that you wanted it to do, you have to go back to the drawing book and figure it out what went wrong. This reminds me of if you watch the last Guardian of the Galaxy movie, the villain in the movie was this guy. I think they called him High Evolutionary. So this guy was obsessed with creating new civilizations, right? He will just manipulate DNA to create living beings, and then he will put them in a planet. He wanted to create perfect civilization, basically. So he will be trying, and you find that these animals that he's creating are violent. He even tried to create another Earth. He called it Counter Earth, and he said it was perfect. But when people go to Counter Earth, they realize that no, it's just like Earth. Like they will see people fighting in the streets, all of that. So be like, so this is peace. This is the perfect world. So he was obsessed with creating peaceful beings, right? He kept on failing, but at least he was trying. So whenever he failed, he would try again until Rocket. They like this. Rocket was also something that he created when he was trying. Like it was this. He kind of like manipulated a DNA of what is it? What's that animal actually? Raccoon. Yeah, a raccoon. Manipulated its DNA and it became super intelligent. So the raccoon was able to tell him what he needed to do to make sure that the animals are peaceful, and it worked. And he was surprised how the raccoon can be smarter than him if it's his creation. But that's what he wanted. At least that's what he wanted. But it seems like whatever created us don't even care, because it could go back to the drawing book and be like, okay, these humans are violent. Society is full of people who wanna, who are greedy, who take over the world and do horrible things. Maybe I can create another world, but I need to fix these people. I need to, it's not really about teaching them things, because that just won't work, because it's not, I didn't program them naturally to be good like that. I didn't program them to care for one another. Like the real problem is in that they are not being taught the right things. The real problem is how they've been programmed. They do know, they do have like morality, you know what I'm saying? They do have their morality, but it's hard for them to even be moral because of how I programmed them. So I need to figure out how to program them to be better. And then he tries. Because people who are doing horrible things, some of them don't even want to do these horrible things. If they could reprogram themselves to find joy in doing things that are positive and that are benefiting everyone, they will do these things. If they could program themselves to find joy in helping other people and they'll feel genuinely happy by helping, then they will help. But if they're programmed to feel happy by gaining more and more power and stealing from poor people, then that's just what they're gonna do. Do you get what I'm saying? So you blame the creator. So if someone has to be punished, it will be the creator at the end of the day, because the creator created beings that are not perfect. And these beings, we also have to deal with them. You see, you deal with yourself as a conscious being because you were created to not be perfect, but you also have to deal with other beings that are not perfect. Do you get what I'm saying? You have to deal with the animals here. So aside from humans, you still have to deal with the animals. You have to deal with the mosquitoes too. When it's hot, and you open your window, mosquitoes are entering your room. You gotta deal with these mosquitoes. You have to deal with cockroaches. Do you get what I'm saying? Gotta deal with all these crazy things because of the creator. And you wanna say the creator is good. You wanna say that Benedictine, you're wrong. It's us humans who need to change. But can we? Can humanity change? Has humanity actually ever been able to change? When you look at our history, do you really think that we're able to change? The internet is actually exposing us. People ain't even better than they were 500 years ago. They just didn't have technology. So you probably... Now, because we have technology, we're posting how we feel about things online. People get killed and people, are celebrating. And you're like, damn, that's horrible, bro. They're free. They post about it, that they feel like what happened is good, even if it's something that's very horrible. That shows you something about this realm that we are part of. It shows you something about our nature. So, to understand life, we must be intellectually honest. It's important that we're intellectually honest. Thank you for watching this video until the end. It means a lot to me if you watch this video until the end, because there are a lot of things that were said on this video, on any other video really. So thank you for watching this video until the end. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Let us keep on growing. Thank you.